Everybody kind of learned from somebody along the way, picked up some habits or picked up some things and made it their own. So
Yeah.
you've got modern heathenry in North America, we'll say today, looking at all of this stuff from all of these regions, trying to codify it into one way.
And
Doesn't
yeah, and
really work that way, you know?
I really dislike attempts to do that because uh, for me, and I know for thousands of others, like one of the most beautiful aspects, and one of the things that drew me to paganism in general before I settled on heathenry, was the fact that it didn't have that rigid framework. It didn't have, commandments. It didn't have all these lists of biblical laws and stuff to follow. Um, and then you have people within our own community who are trying to codify things, who are trying to, like, well, maybe if we did it this way, don't you think it'd be easier? And I'm like, I think by trying to make something more uniform, we're going to extinguish some of the most beautiful aspects of heathenry. Because what is beautiful is, I could go do a bloat with you and then go do a bloat with somebody else's kindred, and they could look astronomically different. And me being somebody who's gone to both of them, I could grab something from each of those, be like, wow, that is really beautiful. And that could be something that might inspire me to develop something in my practice.
Right.
But it's these nuances, like it's a tapestry of many shades. So when I hear people want to try to codify it, it feels to me like they're trying to grayscale it down, like they're trying to mass produce it. And I don't care how many people are heathen. What I care about is how many people stay heathen, because we have a lot of people who come in who say, I'm a heathen. But after like 2 years, like, do you really hear from them again after that? Like, they
Yeah,
just kind of drop off the world, is because,
dude.
and I think it's a combination of that kind of gatekeeping tendency and the fact that it's difficult to get your questions answered without being browbeaten for it.
Hmm. Right. And I feel like there's a bit of a responsibility on folks that have some tenure, the miles under the tires. Um, now, right? There's a degree of responsibility that those folks have, um, for the newbies, for the baby heathens. We don't want to see that sort of mistakes being repeated. I think we want to see more people stay heathen, like you say. If this is where you found a calling to, if this is what is spoken to you, and you feel like this is where your spiritual home could be, then we want you to stay, and we want you to feel eager to learn more about what drew you here. Right? There's that romance phase that we've all gone through
Yeah.
where we're super hardcore into, the myths or the this or the that, and then we feel like we hit this bump, like this dead end or this bump in the road, like, well, what next now, right? Well, where are the
Yeah.
people that are beside us to help us along, right? Or help those people along, and give them directions to go in, or hey, think of looking at this way. If you're thinking about maybe wanting to, explore the complexities of the soul, well, you can look at this source, or you can read this, or you can watch this video, or you can talk to this person, right? And kind of coach them and guide them in those directions. We're not like laying it out the answer for you, because our answers might be different than what they come up with, right? What's important to me, what I find relevant to me in my heathenry may not be what they find relevant. So I don't want to like teach somebody my heathenry to do, I don't want them to do my version of heathenry. I wanted them to do their version of heathenry. And here's where you can find some of your answers and now develop your own hearth cult around it. That's
And
the big
you,
thing.
you definitely hit on something that I absolutely wholeheartedly agree with. Because when I do make my heathen related TikToks and stuff, like it's always aimed at the beginner heathens. Like the intro to all of those videos is, so you've decided to become a Norse pagan, and then I get into whatever subject it is. Like I am going for the square one heathens, and I think it'd be so much better, more like, not that there doesn't need to be content creators that make educational content for higher levels, people with tenure, because we need that as well. There's more desire for education than there are creators, which sounds baffling at times. Because there are so many people out there that are a content creator, but there's so few that are actually educators. And a lot of times, what you'll find when you start looking for content creators and educators is people who are trying to teach their heathenry. They're saying, this is exactly how you do it, step by step. Here is a cookbook to heathenry. And that's just not how so much of it works. Like you can go find a book of lots and rituals online. You can buy it, you can open up, and you can follow the steps as a brand new heathen. And most likely, you're not going to feel anything when you do that as a brand new heathen because your energy is not in that. You're just following somebody else's instructions.
Mhm.
And I love how you put that of we need to teach heathenry, not teach my heathenry.